Hey guys, there has been another update announcement, so let's jump straight into it. There is an October sneak peek. This patch will be hitting us on the 10th of October. And as you can see, there is a new feature coming, the Guild War. Guild War is finally coming to the global server, and I'm pretty happy. That's quite quick. I did think it would take a little bit longer than that, but it's really good news. We did need some more content coming in just to keep the content cycle going and to keep some of the later game players a bit more interested. So this is really good news. But there are some more things in this update that are actually really quite interesting. So the next thing is there is a new skin coming. The first ever hero skin in Watcher of Realms is coming, but it's for Zillitu, as you can see from the outline. But we'll take a closer look at this and see what we can deduce later on. Aside from that, there are more faction trials coming, to more faction trial stages rather. They're adding 10, 11 and 12 to all 7 faction trials. This is really good news. The current faction trial stages up to 9 are not really challenging for most players who are pushing into the end game or are light spenders. It's not too hard if you've got some of the core heroes to really just blast these. What we initially hoped is the faction trials would push us to build unusual heroes, and I've heard from the Forerunner server that these 3 extra stages are actually quite difficult. I haven't actually tried them yet, so that'll be fun to get into. And then finally there are some FAQs, so general questions answered. Gold is too hard to obtain, while gear enhancement costs a great amount of gold. We are already working on improving gold drops by adding more sources. Stay tuned. I think a lot of this comes down to what you choose to upgrade, but it is definitely hard, especially at the start, to deal with gold. Can gear selling grant more gold? Gear selling prices will be adjusted. You can expect a higher selling price. I think this was the one that was mentioned already in the previous patch notes. I'm not sure if that's hit yet. Can I save the gold bonus and XP bonus upon obtaining them instead of using them right away? I think this is kind of necessary. It's really annoying that we can't store these in any way. Our team is actively working on adding new features for XP and gold bonus. Stay tuned. So I wonder if that's a yes, or are we doing something to do with these things? It'll be interesting to see. Void Rift is too difficult. Can you make it less difficult? Void Rift's difficulty will be adjusted in the upcoming update. In the meantime, a new difficulty level will be added between normal and hard. A new elite difficulty is added. For me personally, I feel like the Void Rift is actually in a pretty good place. With the elite difficulty bridging between normal and hard, I feel like that kind of covers what we needed to have covered. So I'm interested to see what they do with Void Rift. I hope they can extend it. What I would really like is a tower system like we see in other gacha games. I want them to remove Tide and replace it with like an infinite tower. It's a tower defense game. Just give us like an infinite wave defense, see how long we can hold out against enemies or something. I don't know. It'll be just something a bit more interesting than Tide, but that's a complete tangent, so sorry for that. I'm always confused with the server launch time for every update due to the time difference between the local time and the displayed time. A countdown will be added in a recent update showing the time left before the server launch time, so that's good. That gives us an in-game reference of how long until the update hits, though it is usually just on whatever your server's reset time. For me, it's 9 AM. And finally, is it possible to skip gear enhancement animation? It takes about 30 seconds to enhance a single gear. We plan to add a quick enhance feature which will be unlocked after clearing campaign normal chapter 8 stage 4. I showed this off in a video not too long ago, a very short video. Very good feature. I'm really happy with how that's come along, and I'm glad that we're getting it very soon. So hopefully this rolls out. I mean, I would like to see it in this October update, if not sooner, to be honest. But that's it. That's the update notice. There's not much more to say on the details. Guild War is coming pretty soon, which is fantastic. Only a couple of weeks away now. And we have the more faction trials. So that's a good amount of content coming for us. And we have the first ever skin for Watcher of Realms. So let's go on to this tangent here. So if you're not interested in speculation, then that is the end of the video in terms of the new information. So regarding the skin, there are a few things to speculate. One, is there going to be stats included? I think that's something that's going to be very important for a lot of people. I've heard this is a growing trend in these games. I never experienced it personally. In the games I played, I think the skins were just coming in when I stopped playing gachas before, but I've heard it's more common now. I personally hope there aren't, but I guess we have to be prepared for the possibility that there are. So let me know what your experience is, because I genuinely am not that experienced with skins in these games. Is it very common? Is it something you expect? Is it something you're okay with? How much? I don't know what we could expect at all. Genuinely, I'm not familiar with skins and if they have stats or not. But people in my Discord have mentioned it quite a bit since this was announced. Aside from that, this update is hitting on the 10th of October. So my suspicion is maybe it's part of an event, and I guess it's Halloween themed. So that will be interesting. My guess is it's Halloween themed. And just to dive into that a bit more, let me just pull up this. There we go. And if we zoom in a little bit on the picture, we can see around this area here and around over here, it looks kind of frilly. So either it's raggedy, like torn, or it's frilly, like feathers. But because we've got up here, we have some bats, and obviously there's a big moon behind the character, and these are like a typical color palette for Halloween. The kind of orangey glows. I suspect it's a Halloween event. I suspect it's a Halloween skin. So if we overlay an image of Zilla 2 at the moment, we can see there are obviously some big changes. It's not the same pose. There's a lot that is different. All right, I'm just trying to see what I can figure out. But we can see that this shoulder pad is the same, right? That is pretty much an identical shape. And there is also some kind of peak on the other side. So I suspect the model is changed, but not entirely. Also, we don't have these extruding horns on the side of the head right here. So I guess it is a different model. They have remodeled and changed it. It's not a recolor, but I think they've kept a reasonable amount from the base model. Also, we can see the wings are quite different. They have these spikier peaks rather than the lumps that we have on the wings currently. We have these big heavy hooks, whereas these seem much sharper points. And the biggest change is obviously the spear. I mean, this thing is gargantuan compared to the dainty little spear we have at the moment. This is very badly cropped out, right? I didn't spend long cutting it out. I just took the model from in-game as I was assuming the pose would be similar. And I think it is, because you can see her hip kind of swings out on the right side here, or on her left. And it's the same for the in-game model's pose. So I think it is a pretty accurate pose to compare between the two. And if we look at the edges of her current wings, they are jagged, but they're not frilly. They're not ragged, kind of wobbly serration. So what does that actually tell us? And one other thing is I think they've popped her collar a bit more. You can see here, this extrusion over here is a much squarer, further jutting collar than we have at the moment. The one at the moment is more high and close and tight. This one looks open. So I'm wondering if it's like a Dracula kind of vampiric theme to her. Bat wings perhaps, and maybe like a Count Dracula type collar. They've also removed her side horns to give her more of a vertical shape on her head. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the design is. People are speculating that this is going to be a pumpkin. My first thought was that it would be a skull of some kind, but if they are going all the way in on a Halloween theme, then maybe it is just going to be a pumpkin. Obviously, it's quite different to the current spear we have at the moment, which is more of a lance. So that's cool. It's nice that there's a bit more variety in that. It'd be interesting to see if they really update all of her animations and her attack special effects, particle systems. That would be cool. I'm guessing they'll probably change the color of her as well, make her blue or something. But yeah, that's my speculation. I'm guessing she's some kind of vampire bat character. These are going to be somewhat resembling bat wings, maybe claws at the bottom. I'm guessing this is going to be like a wide open collar, and yeah, I think they'll go for some kind of vampire aesthetic, but we'll see what they do with her. It could just be some kind of bat style. I think the smartest move from them would be to make it so that you can unlock this in-game rather than buy it. I think, personally, my suggestion would be to the developers, make this unlockable via some kind of Halloween event as a bridge to get people familiar and acquainted with the skin system, and then sell future skins on top. That's how I would handle it, at least. I feel like that's a good way to ease it into the community rather than just smacking it into the cash shop. Anyway, that's it. That's all I want to speculate on. I don't have much more to guess, but I think it's fun. I like looking into this kind of stuff, so let me know if you find this interesting, and if so, then maybe we'll do more in future if there is stuff like this. But I like to analyze it and look into bits and overthink everything I can. Anyway, yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're looking forward to, what you expect, and any heroes you want to see skins of, and maybe I can pass it on to the devs. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.